Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the hidden messages in company filings. Today we're diving into Iovance BIOTHERAPEUTIcs, and let me tell you, it looks like they've got some new presentation material that might just spill some beans. Before we jump in, if you already love getting these insider looks at companies, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, we've got a super active Discord community where we break down these filings together, so check the link in the description below to join us. So what we're looking at here is what's called a Form 8K. Think of it like a special announcement from a company to the public and the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's used to report important events that shareholders should know about right away. This particular report is a current report, meaning it's about something that just happened. This just means they're following the rules set by the government for companies that trade on the stock market. The key date here is August 29, 2025. This is when the main event of this filing happened. The company we're focusing on is Iovance BioTherapeutics Inc. They're in the business of developing therapies for cancer, specifically using a patient's own immune cells. This tells us where their main office is located, but honestly, that's not the juicy stuff we're here for. This is a bit technical, but it refers to the common stock they have available. It tells us how many shares of a company exist. This is their stock ticker symbol, IOVA. So if you were looking on the stock market, you'd search for IOVA. This is where their stock is bought and sold, a major stock exchange. Now we get to the core of this filing. This section, Other Events, usually covers things that don't fit into other specific categories, but are still important for investors. So the big news here is that on August 29th, Iovance updated a presentation. This isn't a full financial report, but any update to their corporate presentation can contain important insights about their strategy, their progress, and what they're telling investors and the public. It's like they've refreshed their story. They've actually attached this presentation, which is labeled as Exhibit 99.1. When they say incorporated herein by reference, it means this attached document is considered part of this official filing. So this presentation is the real meat we'd want to dig into to understand what Iovance is communicating about itself. Unfortunately, we don't have the content of that presentation itself within this filing, but the fact that they updated it and are filing it this way signals they want to share new information that they believe is significant. This part of the filing is all about the exhibits, the supporting documents that come with the report. This just confirms that Exhibit 99.1 is indeed their corporate presentation from August 2025. This is the document that shows how they're presenting themselves to the world during that time frame. And Exhibit 104 is what's called an interactive data file. This is becoming more common, and it basically means the key information from the filing is available in a format that computers can easily read and process, making it easier for analysts and investors to crunch the numbers. Finally, we have the signatures. This is the official sign-off confirming that someone authorized by the company, in this case Frederick Gibaud, their interim CEO, president and general counsel, has reviewed and approved the filing. This adds the official stamp of approval from the company's leadership. Now, looking at this filing, there aren't any big, juicy financial tables to dissect here. This 8K is purely informational about an updated presentation. However, the fact that they are filing this presentation indicates they likely have new data, new trial results, or perhaps updated information about their product pipeline that they are sharing with investors. For a company like Iovance, which is in the development phase of cutting-edge therapies, these presentations are often where you first hear about significant advancements or potential shifts in strategy. If this presentation contained, for example, updated clinical trial data for their lead product, Liflessel, which is a cell therapy for certain types of cancer, that would be the real story. Any positive updates on patient responses, safety profiles, or enrollment numbers would be huge. Equally, if they were, say, pushing back timelines or admitting to unexpected challenges, that would also be critical information that this updated presentation would likely highlight. Think of it this way. Iovance is trying to convince doctors, patients, and of course investors that their therapies are effective and safe. Every presentation is a crucial opportunity to build that confidence. So while this filing itself doesn't give us the numbers, it tells us that new numbers or new narratives perhaps about how their therapies are performing or the market opportunity are being shared right now. It's important to remember that Iovance is in a highly competitive and highly regulated field. The success of companies like this hinges on convincing many different parties that their science works and will ultimately be financially viable. So these corporate presentations are not just marketing tools, they are critical communication instruments used to manage expectations and generate support for their ongoing development efforts. Now, looking at Iovance overall, they're working in the exciting but very challenging field of T-cell cancer immunotherapy. This is not just a small niche, it's a rapidly evolving area where significant scientific breakthroughs can lead to massive market opportunities, but also where failures can be very costly and disruptive. Their focus is on developing personalized cancer therapies, which means tailoring treatment to each individual patient. This approach has a lot of promise, but also presents logistical and manufacturing hurdles. When we consider companies like Iovance, we often look at their clinical trial progress, regulatory approvals, and potential market size. While this filing doesn't provide any of that direct financial or clinical data, the act of updating their presentation suggests they have something new to say, and likely want to control the narrative around it. It could be positive progress that they want to announce proactively to the market. So what's my take on this? This filing is essentially a flag indicating that new information is out there from Iovance. It's a signal to pay attention to their corporate communications. Without seeing the presentation itself, it's hard to give a definitive no-nices, but the fact that they're putting this information out via an 8K means they consider it material. My advice would be to actively seek out and review that Exhibit 99 assist, but the fact that they're putting this information out via an 8K means they consider it material. My advice would be to actively seek out and review that Exhibit 99-1, the corporate presentation, to understand the updated story Iovance is telling, look for any new data points, any changes in their disclosed risks or opportunities, and any updates to their projected timelines. Alright, that's our quick decoding of this Iovance Biotherapeutics filing. It's a pointer to new information rather than the information itself. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this signals good news, or are they perhaps trying to get ahead of some less favourable information? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for even more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.